Every year, more than 19 million people worldwide receive a devastating diagnosis, cancer. And the scariest part is that nearly half of these cases could be prevented with simple lifestyle changes, especially in dietary habits. Have you ever wondered how many times you've put something on your plate that seemed harmless, but behind the flavor hid substances that silently feed cancer, day after day? Today, science is clear. There are foods that significantly increase the risk of cancer. And the most alarming part is that many of them are present on the tables of millions of families every day, including yours. What was once considered exaggeration or myth is now confirmed by reputable institutions like the World Health Organization, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, Harvard Medical School, and the U.S. National Cancer Institute. But pay attention, this video is not meant to alarm you, but to awaken you. The information you'll receive here can help you prevent serious diseases, live with better quality, and, most importantly, protect your health and the health of those you love. Over the next few minutes, we'll reveal 10 foods that science has linked to an increased risk of cancer. And we're not talking about rare or hard-to-avoid ingredients. These are common, popular products that seem harmless, but may silently put your health at risk. So, pay close attention to each item. We'll explain what's behind each food, what science has discovered about their effects on the human body, and how you can replace them with healthier options, without sacrificing flavor. If you're over 60, this information is even more critical. As we age, the body becomes more vulnerable to the effects of chronic inflammation, poor nutrition, and continuous exposure to toxic substances. And to help this content reach more people, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with family and friends. This simple gesture could make a huge difference in someone's life. And let me know in the comments, where are you watching this video from? What city or country do you call home? I'd love to see how far this message is reaching. Now, let's start with the first food on the list, and brace yourself, because it's present in millions of breakfasts around the world. Food 1, processed meats. Sausage, ham, linguica, salami, bacon. These foods are common in many breakfasts, quick snacks, or weekend barbecues. But what few people know is that they are among the most dangerous products for health, especially when consumed frequently. According to the World Health Organization, processed meats have been classified as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as cigarettes and asbestos. This means there is proven evidence that these foods cause cancer in humans, particularly colorectal cancer. But why are they so dangerous? These meats undergo industrial processes like curing, smoking, and the addition of nitrates and chemical preservatives, which, when in contact with the body, can generate highly toxic compounds like nitrosamines, substances linked to tumor development. Additionally, when these meats are fried or grilled, the risk increases even further due to the formation of carcinogenic compounds caused by high heat. The problem is that many people don't see the risk because these products are part of the food culture in many countries. And precisely because they are convenient and tasty, they are frequently consumed, without people realizing the silent damage they cause to the intestines and other organs. For those with a family history of cancer, hypertension, diabetes, or inflammatory diseases, the consumption of processed meats should be avoided as much as possible. And what's the alternative? Replace these products with natural sources of protein, such as boiled eggs, grilled chicken, fresh fish, or even plant-based options like chickpeas, lentils, and tofu. These choices help reduce inflammation in the body, protect the gut, and strengthen the immune system. Remember, avoiding these foods isn't about losing flavor, it's about gaining health, quality of life, and more years with the people you love. Food 2, sodas and sugary drinks. They are colorful, refreshing, and present at almost every social gathering, parties, family lunches, restaurants. But behind their harmless appearance, sodas and sugary drinks are one of the biggest enemies of your health. Large-scale studies, such as one published by the British Medical Journal, reveal that frequent consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages is associated with a higher risk of developing cancer, especially breast and colorectal cancer. The reason is clear. A single can of soda can contain more than 30 grams of sugar, equivalent to about 7 teaspoons. This excess sugar rapidly spikes blood glucose levels, triggering insulin surges and contributing to chronic inflammation, a fertile ground for cancer cell development. Additionally, many of these drinks contain artificial colors, acidulants, preservatives, and synthetic sweeteners, which are also being investigated for their toxic and inflammatory potential. And don't think that zero or light versions are better. Many of them contain sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, which we'll discuss in detail later, which also pose potential health risks. For those aged 60 or older, the body already deals with reduced metabolic efficiency. This means the harmful effects of these drinks are even more intense on the liver, pancreas, and cardiovascular system. The good news is that there are healthy and tasty alternatives. Lemon water, natural iced teas, sparkling water with fruit, or natural juices without added sugar can provide flavor, hydration, and even therapeutic benefits, without harming the body. Remember, the sweeter the taste, the more bitter the long-term consequences may be. Food 3. Refined vegetable oils. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil. These ingredients are in almost every kitchen, whether for frying, sautéing, or even in processed recipes. But what few people know is that refined vegetable oils are highly inflammatory and may play a significant role in the development of chronic diseases, including cancer. During the refining process, these oils undergo high temperatures and the use of chemical solvents like hexane, a toxic petroleum-derived substance. This processing deeply alters the oil's structure, making it unstable and oxidative. When ingested, these oils generate free radicals in the body, which damage cellular DNA and increase the risk of genetic mutations, precisely one of the initial triggers for tumor formation. Moreover, these oils are excessively rich in omega-6 fatty acids, which, in unbalanced amounts, contribute to chronic inflammation, a foundation for the growth and spread of cancer cells in the body. The problem isn't just in home use. These oils are widely used by the food industry in cookies, chips, fast food, baked goods, and frozen meals. So even if you don't fry at home, you're exposed to these harmful fats daily. To protect your health, the best option is to replace refined vegetable oils with more stable, natural fats. Extra virgin olive oil, cold-pressed coconut oil, and even high-quality butter, when used in moderation, are safer and healthier choices. The secret lies in balance. And with conscious choices, you can maintain flavor in your meals without compromising your long-term health. Food 4. Microwave popcorn with artificial flavoring. It's convenient, quick, and seems like a healthy option. After all, it's just corn, right? But the truth is that industrialized microwave popcorn, especially flavored varieties, carries a dangerous combination of toxic substances that may contribute to the development of various cancers. The first problem lies in the packaging itself. Many of these products come in bags lined with perfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS. When heated, these substances detach from the paper and penetrate the popcorn. They are associated with hormonal and immune problems, as well as an increased risk of cancer, especially in the kidneys, liver, and testicles. Additionally, the artificial flavorings used to mimic butter or cheese contain diacetyl, a volatile compound that, when inhaled in large quantities, has been linked to severe lung damage. And although some manufacturers have reduced its use, the risk still exists, especially with frequent consumption. But it doesn't stop there. These popcorns are usually loaded with refined vegetable oils, excess salt, dyes, and preservatives, all ingredients that promote inflammation and oxidative stress, conditions associated with the emergence of cancer cells. If you enjoy popcorn, you don't have to give it up, just change how you prepare it. Popcorn made in a pan with organic kernels and a small amount of olive oil or coconut oil is a safe alternative, rich in fiber and natural antioxidants. What defines the impact on health isn't the food itself, but how it's processed. Avoiding the industrialized version is a small adjustment with a big impact for those who want to live healthier and avoid unnecessary risks. Food 5. Artificial sweeteners. They are marketed as health allies, especially for those looking to lose weight or control diabetes. But behind the promise of zero sugar, many artificial sweeteners hide serious side effects, including a potential risk of cancer development. Among the most common are aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin. These synthetic substances are dozens or even hundreds of times sweeter than regular sugar but have been a concern for the scientific community for decades. In 2023, the World Health Organization declared aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans, based on studies suggesting a link between its consumption and an increased risk of liver cancer. Additionally, regular consumption of these sweeteners can alter gut microbiota, impair glucose metabolism, and trigger a rebound effect. Increased sugar cravings, binge eating, and more inflammation, one of the main triggers for tumor formation. People over 60 should be especially cautious. At this stage of life, the body already has a reduced detoxification capacity. This means synthetic chemical substances may linger longer in the body, increasing their impact on sensitive organs like the liver, kidneys, and nervous system. So, what to use instead? Opt for natural alternatives like pure stevia, erythritol, or xylitol in moderation. And whenever possible, retrain your palate to reduce dependence on sweet flavors. This simple change can completely transform your relationship with food and your long-term health. Not everything labeled diet or zero is healthy. Sometimes, the risk lies precisely in what seems like the best choice. Food 6. Chemical dyes and preservatives. Many processed foods are visually appealing, intensely flavored, and long-lasting. But behind these characteristics lies a group of substances that pose a real risk to human health. Chemical dyes and preservatives. These additives are widely used to enhance appearance, prolong shelf life, and intensify the flavor of processed foods. They are present in cookies, ice cream, sodas, deli meats, breakfast cereals, candies, artificial juices, and even seemingly healthy products like yogurts and granolas. The problem is that many of these compounds have been linked to an increased risk of cancer, especially when consumed chronically over the years. One example is Red 40 dye, common in candies and beverages, which has been associated with genetic alterations in lab studies. Another is sodium nitrate, used in processed meats, which can convert into carcinogenic nitrosamines inside the body. Additionally, some preservatives like butylated hydroxytoluene, BHT, and butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, used to prevent fat oxidation, have been studied for their potential to promote tumor growth in animals. For people over 60, this continuous exposure is even more concerning. Natural aging reduces the body's efficiency in cellular repair and toxin elimination, increasing vulnerability to these substances' effects. The solution is to prioritize minimally processed foods with short ingredient lists. The simpler the food, the lower the risk. And the fewer dyes on your plate, the more color in your life. Food 7. White flour and ultra-processed breads. They are part of millions of people's daily routines worldwide. Bread, cakes, pasta, cookies, and other white flour-based foods are seen as convenient, tasty, and affordable. But behind the convenience lies a high cost to health. White flour is a highly refined product. During processing, it loses nearly all its original nutrients, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What remains is a high glycemic powder that rapidly spikes blood sugar levels, creating an environment favorable for chronic inflammation and cancer cell development. Studies indicate that diets rich in refined carbohydrates, like those in white flour, are associated with an increased risk of intestinal, breast, and pancreatic cancers. This happens because excess glucose directly feeds tumor cells, which use this sugar as their primary energy source to grow. And when it comes to ultra-processed breads, the problem worsens. Beyond refined flour, they contain additives, preservatives, emulsifiers, and even hidden sugars, which overload the liver, harm the gut, and accelerate inflammatory processes. For those over 60, these effects are even more intense as metabolism slows with age and cellular repair capacity diminishes. The solution is simple and accessible. Replace white flour with whole grain versions rich in fiber and nutrients, like oat flour, chickpea flour, or real whole grain bread with few ingredients and no chemical additives. It's not about cutting everything out radically but making conscious choices that protect your health now and in the future. After all, the true bread of life is the one that nourishes, not the one that makes you sick. Food 8. French fries and packaged snacks. Crunchy, tasty, addictive. French fries and packaged snacks are among the most consumed foods worldwide, especially as quick snacks or side dishes. But this seemingly harmless habit hides a silent and highly toxic danger. The main problem isn't just the excess salt, fat, or additives, though all these factors contribute to chronic diseases. The biggest risk lies in the formation of a substance called acrylamide, which appears when starchy foods like potatoes are subjected to very high temperatures, such as frying or intense baking. Acrylamide is considered potentially carcinogenic to humans by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Animal studies show a clear link between exposure to this substance and tumor development in various organs. Additionally, many of these snacks are prepared with reused vegetable oils, which worsens the issue. This type of oil, when repeatedly heated, oxidizes and releases highly inflammatory compounds, true triggers for cellular mutations and metabolic imbalances. Another concerning factor is the presence of flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate, MSG, preservatives, dyes, and even sugar in savory products, creating a chemical cocktail that's hard for the body to process, especially after 60. The solution? Opt for homemade versions of oven-baked chips made with sweet potatoes, zucchini, or parsnips, using olive oil and natural herbs. These are simple, tasty alternatives free from the risks of packaged snacks. Remember, what's crunchy to the palate may be corrosive to health. Small choices today prevent big consequences tomorrow. Food 9. High-temperature grilled meats. A well-done grilled steak, golden and crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. For many, this is the epitome of flavor and pleasure at the table. But what few people know is that this cooking method, especially at high temperatures or directly over flames, can generate highly carcinogenic substances. During intense cooking of meat, especially beef, pork, or chicken, two dangerous chemical reactions occur. The formation of heterocyclic amines, HCAs, which arise when meat's amino acids react to high heat. The creation of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, which appear when meat fat drips onto flames, producing smoke that impregnates the food. Both these substances have been extensively studied and are associated with an increased risk of cancers like colorectal, pancreatic, and prostate. Continuous exposure, especially when meat is charred or burnt, may promote silent genetic mutations over the years. And for people over 60, the risk is higher, as the immune system responds more slowly and the body's antioxidant capacity declines, meaning it's harder to neutralize the damage caused by these toxins. This doesn't mean you must eliminate grilled meats entirely, but moderation and cooking adjustments are crucial. Boiling, baking at moderate temperatures, or using steam pans are safer methods. And whenever possible, avoid eating burnt portions. A practical tip: marinating meat with herbs, lemon, and olive oil before grilling can reduce the formation of these harmful substances. Caring about how we prepare food is just as important as choosing what to eat. After all, the fire that adds flavor can also ignite a silent process of cellular destruction. Food 10. Excessive alcohol. Alcohol consumption is deeply rooted in many cultures. A glass of wine at dinner, a beer with friends, a toast on special occasions. But what few know, or prefer to ignore, is that alcohol, even in so-called moderate doses, is a confirmed carcinogen. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies the ethanol in alcoholic beverages as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same risk level as tobacco. This means there is solid evidence that alcohol causes cancer in humans. The mechanism is direct. When metabolized by the liver, alcohol turns into acetaldehyde, a toxic and highly reactive compound that damages cellular DNA, promotes mutations, and disrupts the body's natural regeneration processes. Among the cancers most associated with alcohol are liver, esophageal, breast, mouth, throat, and intestinal cancers. And the longer and heavier the consumption over time, the higher the risk. For people over 60, alcohol's effects are even more intense. Liver function declines with age, and the body's tolerance to toxins decreases. Additionally, alcohol interferes with hormonal balance, immunity, and the absorption of essential nutrients. It's important to clarify, There is no safe level of alcohol consumption when it comes to cancer prevention. Reducing or eliminating alcohol is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your health. If the habit is ingrained, start with small changes. Replace wine with pure grape juice, beer with kombucha, or explore natural, alcohol-free beverages that offer pleasure without compromising your body. Remember, celebrating life is important, but it's even more important to stay healthy so you can keep celebrating for many years. Debunking myths. Over the years, much information has been distorted, oversimplified, or even manipulated when it comes to food and cancer. Amidst so much news, advertising, and trends, it's become hard to know what's true and what's just a popular belief without scientific basis. So, before moving forward, let's clarify some common myths that may be sabotaging your health without you realizing it. Myth 1. If it's sold in stores, it's safe. Truth, not always. Many products are approved for consumption based on individually safe doses, but the problem lies in cumulative exposure over years and the combination of multiple harmful substances in the modern diet. Just because something is legally sold doesn't mean it's harmless to your long-term health. Myth 2. Artificial sweeteners are healthier than sugar. Truth, not all. As we've seen, some artificial sweeteners are linked to metabolic risks and even cancer. The best approach is to reduce dependence on sweet tastes and, when needed, opt for natural versions like pure stevia. Myth 3. Only ultra-processed foods cause cancer. Truth. The risk is much higher with ultra-processed foods, yes, but it also lies in cooking methods, excessive heat, hidden ingredients, and frequent combinations. Even a healthy food can become harmful if poorly prepared or consumed unbalanced. Myth 4. I'm healthy, so I can eat anything. Truth. Today's health is the result of past choices. Similarly, future health depends on what you do now. Being well today doesn't guarantee protection against future diseases, especially if diet isn't carefully managed. Did you know? Cancer is already the second leading cause of death worldwide. According to the WHO, it's surpassed only by cardiovascular diseases, and in some developed countries, it's already the #1 killer. Up to 40% of global cancer cases could be prevented with lifestyle changes. This includes quitting smoking, exercising, weight control, and, above all, improving diet. Cancer can take 10 to 20 years to manifest in the body. What you eat today may impact your health a decade from now. Prevention must start now. Chronic inflammation is a major trigger for cancer. Ultra-processed foods, rich in sugars, bad fats, and chemical additives, fuel this silent inflammatory process. Many processed foods hide compounds not clearly labeled. Terms like natural identical flavoring or artificial color may conceal substances linked to serious diseases. Your gut is responsible for about 70% of your immunity. A diet high in processed, low-nutrient, low-fiber foods weakens this natural defense system. Facts like these show why information is a form of protection. And taking care of your diet is a daily, simple, yet absolutely vital choice. Now that you know the 10 most dangerous foods for your health, it's time to turn this knowledge into action. So, I propose a simple, straightforward, and deeply transformative challenge. Go 7 days without consuming any of the foods listed here. 7 days. Just 1 week. No processed meats, no sodas, no microwave popcorn, no packaged snacks, no artificial sweeteners. During this time, fill your plate with real food, fruits, vegetables, natural proteins, whole grains, fresh and simple ingredients. Observe how your body reacts. You may notice better sleep, more energy, less bloating, improved digestion, and even mental clarity. This isn't a sacrifice. It's an act of care. A commitment to your health, your future, and those you love. After the 7 days, if you feel better, and I bet you will, keep going for another week and then another, until this new lifestyle stops being a challenge and becomes your new normal. If you accept this challenge, write in the comments, I accept 7 days without poison. This way you inspire others to do the same. Together, we create a wave of awareness, prevention, and health. Are you ready? The challenge starts now. Final words. If you've made it this far, You understand the gravity behind foods that once seemed harmless. And more than that, you've shown you're willing to make a change. The challenge has been issued. Now, the choice is yours. You don't have to change everything at once, but you must start. And starting means making a decision today, with awareness, determination, and self-love. Eliminating these foods isn't just about nutrition. It's an act of prevention, self-care, and responsibility for your future. Remember, cancer grows silently, but it can be fought with simple choices made every day. Your health begins with what you put on your plate, and continues with the decisions you make at every meal. If this content resonated with you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and which food on this list surprised you the most. Information saves lives. And today, you've taken an important step to protect yours.